At the time, I was a refugee in Ghana then, at the Budubron refugee camp. That's in the central region of Ghana. And specifically, it was in June of 2000 when the UNHCR decided to sever all support to Liberian refugees in the diaspora on ground that Charles Taylor was then in power. So it was a way of forcing or encouraging Liberians to return to Liberia. So when they seized their support as the biggest donor of supporter to refugees in the camp, life in the camp became very, very hard. I mean, their withdrawal of support exacerbated the situation in the camp. And some of us, like me and Jeremiah, went to Ghana purposely to go to the US, but that did not work out, and it became kind of frustrating. So most of our time was like sitting around, drinking sports and lecturing and talking some, I would say, useless politics. But when the UNHCR withdrawal support happened, we started to ask ourselves some questions. What can we do? Are we going to sit in the camp and just cry a cry of self-pity or do something? Then came the turning point. I was one day walking down somewhere on the refugee camp called Broad Street, when a friend of mine, Richard Seat in particular, met me and asked me a question, Jeremiah, what's the essence of going to school? You are a university graduate, what the essence? My mother, who I love so dearly, she was very much illiterate, but she was very much passionate about education. So she wanted me to go to school. She had to go and beg the Catholic nuns, the Catholic priests, and one Father Albert Cooney, he's a U.S. citizen. Talk with Albert. Albert accepted. Said, "Okay, Jeremiah, as long as you can go on a roll, we'll keep the scholarship on. But you have to come to the church every Saturday to cut some grass." So fast tracking the story, from grade 7 to grade 12, I had some work to do on the campus, the church compound, and then working in the library. I was just all over, but you have the school degree. So my mother became a driving force. So the issue was, what can I give back to society? Because I know clearly she was begging around to get me to school. She was asking people for help. There are others out there who don't have it. What can we pay back? What can we give back? That is the motivating thing, basically for our adult literacy kind of work. I need to do something to make myself useful to society. How can we do that? There are women in the camp with children, other friends, they are facing difficulties. Can we organize something? We quickly found a makeshift library and brought together some street kids. We started to teach them how to read and write. And then when the news started going out, we started receiving commendation. You go to the market and somebody telling you, "Thank you, or my son or my daughter is in your class." So, okay, this is good. There's some worth added. When we got back in Liberia, we thought it wise not to do something different, but to move after those who were working with, and do similar things. We still do other literacy work. From other literacy, we added VSLA, we did part of HIV and AIDS prevention, and then the whole issue of going into TVEC, technical vocational education, and training came into being, with all the bits and pieces of feedback we're receiving from our beneficiaries. It is, I think, for me, the biggest passport that you can leave with a child, a son or daughter.